Hey, how's it going, YouTubers? I'm back again with another preview of the 2020 Stanley Cup playoffs of the second round. This time I am going to focus on the Eastern Conference, and I will start with the matchup of the 1 versus, I believe, 7 seed, which would be the Philadelphia Flyers taking on the New York Islanders. Now, this is a very intriguing matchup because the Islanders made very short work of the Washington Capitals, a team that I thought would have at least made it to the second round, and the Islanders beat them out in 5. So I'm not sure what it is, if it's that long layoff they had or the fact that they weren't together, whatever the case may be is, but Washington, for me, just did not look in sync. Yeah, they had that one win, but the Islanders just took over that series. So they are a very deep team and a definite threat to possibly upset the Flyers. Now, granted, I thought that the Habs had a chance against the Flyers, but obviously that fell short. But I will give both the Islanders and the Philadelphia Flyers credit that they have a very good roster. Their goaltending is superb on both sides. Like I've mentioned before, Hart seems to be a number one goalie, and the first time the Phillies had a number one goalie in years. You got to think how many times they've either traded, signed, or whatever it was for goalies, and it just did not seem to work out. I mean, I remember when Bobrovsky it seemed like he was going to take over that, and he got traded to Columbus, and then he had a terrific career there, and now he's over in Florida. So I wish him nothing but the best of luck. But Hart has finally legitimately gotten the number one job, and I can see him having that for a number of years to come. I can see Philly being a contender for a number of years to come because they finally have decent goaltending. They're not just having this one year wonder and then he flops the next 2 or 3 years and then they get rid of him. So for the Philadelphia Flyers, you got to feel like that monkey's been taken off your back. Like, finally, we have a goaltending, because you've always had the scoring and you've had the defensive help, but you just haven't had consistency at goaltending. And as for the Islanders, you had your magical run last year when you went to the second round, and obviously you lost to the Carolina Hurricanes, I believe, in the second round. I believe so. Because they got swept, because the Islanders swept the Penguins, and then they got swept by the Hurricanes. So I don't think this is going to be a sweep by any means. I could see this going 5 or 6, maybe even 7 games. I think those two teams just do not like each other, and they've been in the same division for a very long time. Now, granted, the Flyers do have a 3-1 lead when it comes to the playoffs, that they've obviously beaten the Islanders 3 times out of 4. So this will be their 5th meeting, and this is the first time since 1987 playing, and that was before I was born. So I can't even say I remember that series because I wasn't even alive. So I believe this will be a back and forth contest. I could see it being like a Philly winning the first game, maybe the Islanders winning the second, going back and forth kind of like that. I just don't see one team totally dominating the other. Now, I could be proven wrong, and the Islanders could sweep the Flyers, or the Flyers could sweep the Islanders, whatever the case may be is. But I just personally don't think it's going to come down to that. I just think these teams are two hard-working teams, and they will not give up, and they will not, even if they're just down by 1 in the third, I could see them just fighting and clawing their way back into it. So I think this is going to be a very fun series to watch, and there's obviously going to be some hatred between these two teams because they do not like each other one bit. Now, it's not like the Flyers and Penguins when you had that state rivalry. That would have been a much more epic series, but beggars can't be choosers. I personally believe, like I said, the Flyers will get the better of the Islanders in like 5, 6, or 7 games. So I will pick the Flyers to advance to the conference finals for the first time in 10 years, who they ironically played against the Habs. But that's another story for another day. So that's my prediction. Till next time, take care.